We welcome you to Cardinal Hayes this afternoon, where the Varsity Media Sports Network presents this Catholic AA basketball showdown between the visiting Eagles of St. Peter's and the Cardinals of Cardinal Hayes. Good afternoon, everyone. Dylan Butler here with you on the Grand Concourse in the Bronx for a Sunday matinee tilt between St. Peter's and Cardinal Hayes. The Eagles of St. Peter's, they come in with a 1-0 record. It's a new era at St. Peter's. Head coach Ryan Woods in his first season. He's across the way there at the St. Peter's bench. A 2008 graduate of St. Peter's, a former Jakes Award winner, as well was a standout player, now a head coach, replacing the legendary Charlie Driscoll. The Eagles of St. Peter's are 1-0 on the season. They had that emotional Thanksgiving Eve Classic. They defeated Curtis 48-30. That's the 65th annual of the Thanksgiving Eve Classic. And interestingly enough, they had a couple of Curtis transfers in their debuts at St. Peter's come up huge, including Kadir Martin. What a performance Kadir had in his first for St. Peter's. He messed around and had a triple-double. 17 points, 14 rebounds, and 12 blocks in that 48-30 win. And Kadir is one of our players to watch for St. Peter's. Let's bring those guys in now. In addition to Kadir there, you see the size for him. That was what he averaged a year ago, 15.2 points a game when he was at Curtis High School. 6'6", junior forward, already has an offer from Bryant. He's going to be that force inside, and there you see him warming up, has the sleeve on his right leg, and he'll be joined by his point guard, Michael Spisto, a junior, 2-year starter, captain, leader on and off the court. You see those numbers. It's not eye-popping numbers for a Michael Spisto. He's that guy who runs the engine for the St. Peter's team. Tremendous court vision. He's shooting it better this year as well. He had 5 assists in that win against Curtis High School. Cardinal Hayes, they come in off of back-to-back losses, which, if memory serves, that didn't happen once last year in their run to the Catholic AA championship. So a little bit of a different situation for Hayes, some new faces as well. Hayes coming off a 66-60 loss here Friday night against Archbishop Stepinac. So Hayes looking to bounce back from that one. Previous to that, they went 1-1 in their Thanksgiving Hoop Fest in Dallas, and they're led by a couple of really solid players in Elijah Moore and, of course, Captain Jack himself, Ian Jackson. These two guys are major Division I players. Jackson, you see him there, improved his shot in the offseason, and he's really also has an incredible ability to get to the hole. When we have a chance, we'll show you the starters. There was no introductions here. We're right on to the court playing the game here this afternoon. Tip won by Hayes, and they'll look to get going. Hayes starts Elijah Moore, Adam Njai, Ian Jackson, Jaden Williams, and Steven Solano. And foul there is Jalen Munson was fouled on his way to the basket. There you see our referee, one of our part of the 3-man crew, Richie Katz, along with Greg Ciceri and Kevin Agee. Solano impacted that shot by Kadir Martin, and we go the other way. Jackson in transition. Good recognition by the Eagles. Pop out to Williams. 4-3 back iron, no good. Rebound goes to Spisto. Their starters for St. Peter's are Spisto, Alex Chi, Jalen Munson, Stephen Bradley, and Kadir Martin. Martin tried to go inside, rejected there by Solano, and it will be Hayes' ball to come out. That's Adam Njai, the junior, transfer from Hillcrest Prep. Lefty layup, no good. Spisto, and good job by Jackson to get his hands on it. Went off the official, stays in, 3-point shot for Moore, and that is good. Choppa Moore gets started for Hayes. And first-year head coach for St. Peter's, Ryan Woods, trying to say, listen, that official was out of bounds. That ball should have went out. Doesn't win that argument. And so now the Eagles get on to the offense. Three-point look is good. That's Stephen Bradley, the 2-year starter. Good size. He's not really the 4. He's kind of forced to play there, and we are tied at 3. Jackson to the hole, rejected there by Martin. And Munson comes away with it. Bradley, what a look down low, and Martin finishes. And you can see the versatility already by Bradley. Shoots it well, doesn't force his shots as Njai now hands off to Choppa Moore from the foul line. Front rim, no good. Battle for the rebound, and it will go to St. Peter's and Spisto. On Trey Lewis. (9-8) early lead for Cardinal Hayes. 4:04 left in this first quarter. Spisto guarded by Lewis. Hands off. Three-point shot. Rims around. No good. And Jackson comes away with the rebounds. Ian Jackson in transition. Can't get the flush. Trey Lewis says, I gotcha. And he'll finish at the rim. 11-8 the lead for Cardinal Hayes. Chi guarded by Williams. Goes to Munson, puts it on the court, back out to Chi. Good ball movement for the Eagles. Down low is Martin, and he's fouled on the way up by Ian Jackson. So first free throws for Kadir Martin, the transfer from Curtis. Similar to Bradley, a little bit out of position. He's playing the 5. Front rim no good on the first, but not really a 5. Next level, probably more of that swing guy, but here for St. Peter's, he's going to be a beast inside. That guy that brings you all those rebounds, the swatting of the shots, and again, triple-double in his St. Peter's debut in that win over Curtis. Second free throw also no good. And there's Trey Lewis, the freshman, averaging 6 points a game. How about another one? Martin this time, or Moore this time, doesn't get it to drop. Jalen Munson, the other Curtis transfer, doubled. And they switch it on top to Spisto. 11-8 your score, 3:01 left in this first quarter. Spisto tries to play it down low to Martin, but unable to corral, and will go the other way. And there is Choppa Moore. 9 already of his team's 11. Jackson guarded by Kadir Martin. Hands off to Trey Lewis, and a foul was called on Munson. His first, the team's second. So Lewis will inbound at midcourt. Certainly a different atmosphere here today that we saw on Friday night, and we know about Friday nights in the Catholic Basketball League. They are like none other, as Moore puts it on the floor, no good. Few taps at the rebound by Tyleek Fields. He'll step out of bounds, though, so it'll be St. Peter's ball. Good effort, though, by Fields. But a packed house here Friday night. Saw rivals Stepinac and Hayes do battle, and it was a 66-60 win for Archbishop Stepinac, avenging, at least on paper, that loss to Cardinal Hayes in the intersectional championship game last year. I'm not sure you win a game in December and you avenge a championship loss, but the opening salvo goes to Pat Massaroni's Crusaders. And now Hayes, as we mentioned at the top, they've lost back-to-back games, and they faced the daunting task of having to go to Arizona for the Hoop Hall West. Another hand check is called. And this one, they're saying it was on Martin. First team third. But they will go to Arizona for the Hoop Hall West. First up for them, the number 2 ranked team in the country in Duncansville. So this is an important game for Hayes to get their confidence back, to get in the win column. Jackson on the court, hands it back to Chapa Moore. Moore steps back out, 1:32 left first quarter. Moore drives a lane, double team, down low. Williams the finish. Jaden Williams, a guy who Joe Lode says when you think about the talent with Jackson and Moore, Williams, a guy, will not be on the opposition's team scouting report, so the shot should be there for him. Kadir Martin is all over scouting reports, and the finish with authority. Kadir Martin pulls St. Peter's within 3. Now the Eagles, off a turnover, will get the ball. 30-second timeout for Hayes. We didn't get a chance to show you that graphic at the start, so why don't we just go ahead and show you those starters for both teams. First for the visitors from St. Peter's, there's a good look at Spizto, Munson, Chi, Bradley, and Martin, the solid starting 5 for the Eagles. And again, their head coach, first-year Ryan Woods, replacing Charlie Driscoll, who had a 344, 198 record in 21 years as head coach. There you see the starting lineup for Cardinal: Hayes, Njai, Moore, Jackson, Williams, and Solano. Unchanged from Friday night's loss to Archbishop Stepanak. And, of course, the head coach of Cardinal Hayes, Joe Lodes, in his 15th season. 1993 graduate of St. Francis Prep. His associate head coach, or co-head coach, if you will, is Tim Philp. Off the timeout, final minute, first quarter. There is Martin, who hands off to Munson. Munson tried to get it back, stolen away, and there's another one of the sensational freshmen here on this Cardinal Hayes team, Jordan Skyers, with the steal. Skyers, excellent in transition, really athletic. He could finish above the rim. Njai hands off. That's Nazir Simmons. First look this year for us of Owen Zabel, and a foul was called on Njai. Fourth team foul. Both teams with 4 fouls in this first quarter. Shot clock off, so St. Peter's could theoretically hold for the last here. Spizto, though, finds something inside, hands off. The layup on by Monroe is no good. The Eagles get it back. Martin puts it on the court, loses it. And here comes Hayes, and we'll go the other way. Or will we? No. Katz says we'll stay this way. So 10 seconds left for Cardinal Hayes. They've got a 3-point lead in this first quarter. Up top to Njai. Works off the screen by Larry. Off the glass, no good. Big rebound. Spizto, can they get one off? Layup is good. It beats the buzzer. And Kadir Martin, a solid first quarter for St. Peter's. And the Eagles pulled within 1 after 1 quarter. Watch it again. Beating the buzzer with the finger roll. Pretty stuff there by Kadir Martin. 1 quarter in the books here in the Bronx, and it is Cardinal Hayes with a 13-12 lead over St. Peter's. You're watching this Catholic AA basketball showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Under, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Cardinal Hayes. Dylan Butler here with you on a Sunday afternoon where St. Peter's, coming from Staten Island, they trail by 1 after 1 quarter of play. Spisto. And there is Martin, scored all but 3 of his team's points in that first quarter. Bradley switches it. Monroe in the corner. Not a lot of room in that corner. Hands off to Morello. Back to Monroe. Nice shot fake. No good. The rebound, though, goes to Hayes. And now the Cardinals look to run. Going baseline. Up and under. No. Top of the key. 3-point shot. Off the back iron. No good. Battle for the loose ball. And it will go off the Eagles. Good effort by both teams there. Diving on to the court for St. Peter's was Jarrell Monroe, the junior. Was part of that JV team coached by Woods a year ago that lost to Cardinal Hayes in the JV City Championship game. Jackson to Chapa Moore. The look down low. Inside, Williams off the glass and in. 4 now for Williams, and the lead is 3. Bradley. He'll get it right back in that corner. But the Eagles turn it over. And that was one of the keys for Ryan Woods. The St. Peter's head coach said, we've got to take care of the ball, knowing that Cardinal Hayes is active. They play a lot of different defenses. They're tough and long. Taking care of the basketball is vital for St. Peter's, and Hayes comes right back the other way and turns it over. So it's St. Peter's ball. And there's a good look at Spisto, just a junior, already a 2-year starter. Bradley. Another 3-point attempt, rims around, no good. Jackson gets the rebound. He's picked up there by Martin. Tries to bounce it inside to Williams. Stolen away, though, by Antonio Morello. Morello, that backup at both guard spots, a heady, tough player who shoots it well from the perimeter. Spisto. Ooh, he finds a lane, kicks it instead. 3-point attempt. No good. Big rebound by Bradley. Up and under. Can't finish. Tip back out. And there goes Moore. Pumps the brakes and buries the 3. His 4th 3 of this first half, excuse me. Chapa Moore, 13 Division I offers coming in already on the season, shooting 58% from 3. That's with a 3-game sample size so far. Spisto wants to work off the screen set by Martin, gets it up to Bradley. They swing it to this left side. Morello. Baseline. Layup no good. Martin. And he was fouled on his way up. Foul on Jackson, his 2nd, the team's 5th, and Kadir Martin will go to the line to shoot 2. 9 in that first quarter for Martin. He's a guy who provided a big lift against his former school in Curtis in that Thanksgiving Eve game that's played every year in front of that packed house at the College of Staten Island. Just a horse on both ends. And it's funny when you see a Kadir Martin, especially on this level, you can draw comparisons to Ode Anasiki. If you remember Ode back in the day, a couple of inches taller than him, and Ode was more of a back-to-the-basket guy than Kadir is. Kadir drops down the second, but both guys were double-double machines, and Ode Anasiki for Siena led the country in consecutive years in double-doubles. Zabel hands off. Williams pumps it down low to Solano. Solano, the hook shot, no good in the lane. Same team. And St. Peter's will be fortunate here because Williams traveled as he fell down to the court with the basketball. Martin, quick swing, open three in the corner is good. Morello. His first points of this game, and it's a 2-point ball game, 18-16. What's true this year about St. Peter's is what has been true for years under Charlie Driscoll. In fact, when Brian Woods played as well, you've got to play the Eagles. They're going to play it tough. They're going to play you hard. And you can't overlook this team. You can't say, well, they're from Staten Island, right? But they earn your respect. Solano stepped out underneath, so St. Peter's will inbound it with an opportunity here midway through this second quarter to either tie or take the lead. Goes up top to Martin. A lot of D1 interest for Kadir Martin. So far, just a Bryant offer. Foul is on the floor. It's the 6th team foul on Cardinal Hayes, so one away from the bonus for St. Peter's. Martin puts it on the floor, up and under, no good. Offensive rebound, the tap back, not there for Quinones. On Friday night, it was the opposite, where Hayes, they trailed. Oh, what a basket. Athletic move by Trey Lewis to the hole. Hayes trailed by as many as, or their deficit went to 10 at one point. They cut it down to 1 twice in the final 4 minutes against Stepanak, but the Crusaders pulled away a big road win, their first game of the year, and this is Cardinal Hayes' 4th. They split in the in the Thanksgiving Hoop Fest in Dallas, lost to Stepanak. And the Hoop Hall West coming up. Adam Njai. Pretty move by Njai. He's in the scorebook tonight. His first bucket, 11 points on the year for Njai, who head coach Joe Lode says he's that throwback guard. And a tough foul was called there. It looked a little bit like Munson was out of control getting to the basket. Instead, Munson will go and shoot the bonus. Jackson back in the game, replacing Lewis. Munson, a guy who can get to the rim, finishes in traffic. Really worked on his perimeter game in the offseason. That was a front rim, but we'll have a lane violation on Solano, so we'll shoot it again. And he'll knock down that first of the bonus free throws. But hard-nosed, great in transition is Munson, and what a terrific haul there for Ryan Woods, right? You get the twofer transfer from Curtis in Martin and Munson, both in your starting lineup. Both will be big impact players this year for the Eagles. 22-18 your score. And there's a steal by Munson. In transition, Jalen Munson to the hole. Not there. Will go the other way. Njai to the hole. You can see that 4-point swing, right? Munson an opportunity to slice into the deficit. Doesn't score. Njai does. And the lead is 6. Spizto knocked out of the way. Nearly at our broadcast position. Martin checks it back in. He replaces Quinones. Williams back in for Hayes for Zabel. Munson. Njai in his grill, but a little bit too much there from Njai. His second, the team's 8th, and Munson, after knocking down both free throws, will go to the line for the single bonus again. And that one is good. As is the second. So 4 of 4 from the line in this second quarter for Jalen Munson. It is a 4-point game. It's been close throughout this first half as we're inside the final 2 minutes of the first half. Njai looking for some room. He's feeling it, and he knocks down a deep 2. 6 second quarter points for Adam Njai, the transfer from Hillcrest Prep. He enrolled at Hayes as a freshman, went out to Arizona, and they're happy to have him back here on the Grand Concourse. Munson inbounds right in front of Tim Philp. The associate head coach, Loads and Philp, do a great job of providing really 2 guys who are true head coaches, with Philp, former Stepanak head coach. He's the guy right now who's leading the charge defensively for this Hayes team, and Loads has all those offensive sets. Inbound sideline for St. Peter's. He's not quite at his full repertoire of plays, is Joe Loads. Normally likes to have nearly 50 different sets offensively. Martin attacks the hole. No foul. No foul again. Great defense by Jordan Skyers, really getting up there and defending, and the foul will go against Jackson. So the 9th team foul. Jackson to the bench with 3. Chapa Moore back in. As Munson, who's made a living, it seems like, in this second quarter from the foul line, goes back there. As I say that, misses the front end. His first miss from the line. Njai on the court. Attacks at Martin is short. 3-point shot. Chapa. His 5th 3 of this first half inside the final minute, and the lead is now 9, the largest to this point for Cardinal Hayes. 15 in the first half for Chapa Moore, who in his season debut, as Bradley misses the 3, rebound off the hands of Moore, battle on the floor. And you got to love that if you're Cardinal Hayes. You see Tyleek Fields diving onto the court to get the rebound. You've got the timeout opportunity, and that is taken. It'll be a full, and the clock didn't stop, so they'll reset that to 28. We've got it right here at the table. In addition to being on Varsity Media here this afternoon, we thank you for joining us on the Yes Network app, and we remind you to go to that QR code in the bottom left of your screen, download the Emmy award-winning Yes Network app right now. You can get a full winter's worth of terrific basketball. Of course, we had all that great football in the fall. We go inside now to the hardwood, a lot of Catholic League basketball this winter, and you can catch all of that as well as all that terrific programming from Yes Network right there on the Yes Network app. Final 28 seconds of this first half, a 29-20 lead for Cardinal Hayes. And they will reset the clock to 28.2 seconds if they're able to. There we go. We got 28 seconds on the clock. We will be good to go. So shot clock off here for Cardinal Hayes. They have an opportunity to hold for the last and perhaps even take a double-digit lead into halftime. Williams bobbles at the top of the key, hands off to Njai. Munson on him. Inside the final 13. Munson, Tim Philp from the Hayes bench says, wait. Now Njai goes, double screen set up at the top. Njai pulls up, it's short. Battle for the rebound, no good. Spizto fires down the court, but that was too late. And it is Cardinal Hayes with a 29-20 lead at the half. We'll have head coach Joe Lodes join us here at halftime. For a spot, we'll have you back up a little bit, Joe, and we'll have our Chris Sweeney frame you up. And we are, Joe, you got to put your headset down. Love to hear what you have to say. The microphone's got to be, there you go. You got it now.
Very complicated.
We're cooking with gas. Joined now by Joe Lodes, head coach of Cardinal Hayes. Joe, 29-20 lead. St. Peter's kept it close throughout this first half. You know they're a team that's going to play you every possession, be a tough team to handle. What'd you think in the first half?
I thought St. Peter's played a very good half. You know, I'm glad we didn't drive all the way out to St. Peter's. That's an awful ride. No offense to the Staten Island.
Even on a Sunday?
Even on a Sunday. We don't want to play that. I thought we didn't do a good job sharing the ball. I don't know. Right now we look like a poorly coached team. I don't think I'm going to get my December 15th initial stipend this year. 1-2. I haven't been 1-2 since, in CYO basketball right now. I'm 1-2, I think.
What would you like to see there from your guys in the second half?
I just want to see less dribbling and more passing. I want to see the ball moving. I want to, we need to sprint and share it. We'll see. What's the Jets score?
I don't know. I'm here with you.
Oh, geez. So, we'll see. We'll see.
I think everyone in the league thinks that we have this scripted. We don't have these conversations scripted.
We have a lot of talent on the team,
yeah.
But the great Lou Carnesecca used to say, sometimes you have to wait till the evening to see what a beautiful day it's been. And that's what I think about our team right now. It's the first 8 or 10 games. I think we're going to look a lot like a mediocre ball club. But at some point, it's going to hit for us. Hopefully by the time February rolls around.
All right. Joe Lodes, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, gentlemen. Good to see you guys.
So it's halftime here in the Grand Concourse, and it is 29-20. The lead for Cardinal Hayes. You're watching this Catholic AA basketball showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Hi, I'm Gene Steratore, CBS Rules analyst and longtime sports official. For the adults watching this video, you grew up in a world where officials, umpires, and referees for youth sports took their place regularly and reliably ahead of game time. Today, unfortunately, it's getting harder and harder to fill those jobs. Videos showing abusive treatment of officials multiply on social media, and there have been consequences for the dreadful behavior of players, fans, and coaches. Massive shortages of officials now lead to games being canceled, and the positive effects of athletic competition are at critical risk for this generation and those to come. I'm hoping we all can begin to see youth competition through a different lens. Today, mistreatment of officials has become normalized, and we are facing an abnormal future where no officials to hire means no games on the schedule.
Any call, any decision, any human effect on wins and losses has become subject to not just withering criticism, but physical threats. There's a vicious cycle at work. Fans chase away officials, and there is a smaller pool to draw from, which makes it harder to get quality, well-trained people in position. The entire game suffers.
Did you know, according to the National Federation of High Schools, 80% of new officials quit the game after just 2 seasons because of abusive behavior from the stands and sidelines? This sort of verbal abuse and threatening behavior takes a toll on all officials and makes them leave the game altogether.
Did you know, from 2018 to 2022, an estimated 50,000 high school referees, roughly 20%, have quit. Half of the remaining referee population is at least 50 years old, but young officials are rarely staying more than 3 years in the job.
If the number of officials working contests in all sports doesn't begin to increase, there won't be enough officials to work the games. That means schedules will get cut, teams or even sports might get canceled. In many states, this is already happening.
Remember that officials are invested in what they do. Many officials have regular, full-time jobs, and they're sacrificing time away from their families. Try to demonstrate empathy. Put yourself in their position. Think how you would feel about getting yelled at throughout your workday.
Yelling and arguing with officials sends the wrong message to young players. According to Play by the Rules sports advocacy, it teaches them that it's not okay to make a mistake. They can blame others for their actions. They can disrespect authority figures, and it's okay to be rude and selfish.
You know, officials enforce rules, keep competitions fair, and make player safety a priority, allowing youth sports to be a valuable arena for growth. If we can all just work together and be more empathetic to not just the officials, but everyone else in youth and high school sports, we can then preserve what many of us have embraced about athletics. And you and I know the benefits of sports, right? Let's spread that gratitude and be proud of what we can build and not blind to how it's being torn down. Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot, it's not a game.
So what happens now? Your response in the heat of the moment is the only thing you totally control, and we have an experiment for you to try. Simply stated, just cheer for your child or the team you're there to support. Move that desire to lash out to a different place and encourage without rage. Your child's sporting memory should be about how you helped inspire and not about how you caused embarrassment.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Cardinal Hayes. Second half about to start. Dylan Butler here with you on the Varsity Media Sports Network. 29-20 is your score. Cardinal Hayes leading St. Peter's. Our last time we saw Cardinal Hayes on the Varsity Media Sports Network, they were lifting the Catholic AA Intersectional Championship. And what a year they had a year ago. 26-3, beating Stepinac 79-59 in the AA Intersectional Final. They finished number 21 in the country by ESPN, 24 by USA Today, and there you see those scenes out at Hofstra last March. See Joe Lodes and Tim Philp, and that combination of kind of two head coaches combining together, and you see what they've done since Philp made the move from Stepinac to Hayes. A 152-54 record coming into this season, 92-27 in the league. Those two championships in 2017, beating Archbishop Malloy. 2022, of course, beating Stepinac. But Hayes facing a little bit of adversity early on this season, 1-2, as the second half is underway. It is Hayes ball coming out. Njai hands off to Solano. Jackson works off a screen. It's short. And we go the other way with Munson. Spisto guarded by Jackson. Bounces it to the baseline, to the foul line. Munson is fouled on his way up by Solano. So that's Solano's first, the team's first of the second half. And Kadir Martin had a team high 10 of his team's 20, so not a math major in my days, but pretty sure that's 50% of his team's points in the first half, and Martin misses the first of two. Second also rims out. So an empty trip. Jackson in the corner. That is short. Ian Jackson has struggled from the perimeter this season. A bounce pass. It was Spisto trying to find Chi, but the connection just a little bit off. Jackson 20% from beyond the arc early on this year. Ian Jackson, the number 2 ranked junior in the country by ESPN. Number 1 ranked is Trey Johnson out of Lake Highlands. That was Cardinal Hayes' first loss of the year down in Texas. Bounce pass inside. Solano from Williams. And Steven Solano in the scorebook. While Solano has struggled a little bit offensively, he's brought it defensively. He's blocking shots. Bradley in the corner knocks it down. His second triple of this game. And you can see the matchup problem. Stephen Bradley, a long 6'3", could present going forward for the Eagles. Good defense by Chi, getting his hands on that pass intended for Jackson. Njai. Spisto is trying to take it away from Williams. Inside, the pass down low. We got a foul down low. Inside, Solano. The foul, by the way, was on Munson. Solano finishes at the rim. It was Munson's second, first of the second half, and the lead, the largest to this point. Rejection inside. Second effort, though, by Kadir Martin. 12 on the game from Martin. And a timeout is called. And there you see the top 25 rankings. This was preseason. Hayes checking in at number 9 and Max Prep's top 25. You see Lehigh there at 12. You see Duncanville right there, number 2. That is Cardinal Hayes' next opponent out at Arizona. I mean, talk about getting your frequent flyer miles for the Cardinals early on. You open the season in Dallas, Texas, and there you see their schedule. Cardinal Hayes, you open up in Dallas against Pinkston. You win that game 85-51. You lose to Lake Highlands. You come back home. You stay home for those 2, and then you're out back again to Arizona to take on Duncanville in Texas. Inside, Solano, and then Perry from Arizona. So Solano, 6 in this third quarter. 10 points, the lead now, as Munson blows a tire. And actually, they'll say a foul was a kick against Jackson. That is his 4th. So Ian Jackson will go to the bench, replaced by Trey Lewis. Of the fabulous freshmen that Hayes has on their roster, Lewis is off to the best start of all of them to this point. He's a guy who just gives that ultimate effort. He'll dive into the scorer's table. He'll get on the floor for loose balls. Great motor, doesn't get tired, is Trey Lewis. They are missing one of them, as there's Martin. Nice move to the hole by Kadir Martin. Hayes is playing the early portion of their schedule without the guy they call Magic Mel, Jermel Thomas, the fantastic freshman point guard, dealing with a bit of a hip injury. Solano puts it on the court. He's feeling it a little bit. 3-point shot. Lewis rims out. Munson. Now St. Peter's looks to get it going in transition. Martin down low. Rejected by Solano. Other way. Finger roll. Trey Lewis. Another 4-point swing. 10-point lead remains for Cardinal Hayes, and St. Peter's will call the timeout. It'll be a full. We mentioned the Ian Jackson, and look at the summer that Jackson had, averaging 11.9 points a game for the U17 U.S. team, and you can see the finish there on the right, winning that FIBA World Cup. Part of that team as well was Boogie Fland of Stepanak, so Jackson and Fland winning gold with Team USA over the summer. And Jackson, his recruiting remains to be really, really high, right? You look at his recruiting right now, you've got Kentucky, probably the very top. A lot of those blue bloods of college basketball, the North Carolinas, Kansas, Kentucky, stay here as well. You've got St. John's, Seton Hall, Syracuse, UConn. 15 Division I offers for Ian Jackson. He went on a visit to Kentucky on October 14th. He visited LSU on November 5th. Oregon just before that. He has a visit scheduled, at least, for North Carolina as well. Off the timeout, St. Peter's ball. They need to keep this within fighting distance, and look at the steal and the layup by Jordan Skyers. And now the lead is 12. Woods thought there was some physicality there. Doesn't get the call. on the road, and Skyers, another one of those great freshmen on this team, gets his first points of the game. Spisto trying to force it to Martin. And the ball goes out of bounds midway point of this third quarter, and Hayes starting to create some separation with a 12-point lead. Munson with the inbound in front of his own bench. Gets it back to Spisto. Spisto to the hole. Nothing there. It stays in there. The battle on the court. And it will go to Cardinal Hayes. They say that Martin was off the court on the baseline. And Cardinal Hayes has it. There's Chapa Moore. Led all scorers with 15 points in the first half, all from beyond the arc. Stripped by Chi. Gets it right back, though. A little bit out of control are Hayes. And a little bit of a bailout call there because it goes against Munson. That'll be his third in the team's second of this second half. So Munson will have to go to the bench with that foul. And there's Chapa. Unlimited distance for Elijah Moore. Earned his nickname from his older brothers as to the basket goes Skyers again. 4 points in this third quarter. 41-27 now the lead for Cardinal Hayes. Martin puts it on the court, loses it. Trey Lewis. Lewis end to end. The layup is good. Trey Lewis with 8 and a timeout called by St. Peter's. 43-27. The lead. Good stuff here. Look, Trey Lewis on the court, keeps his dribble, and he will go end to end. He gets into the game, man, and he just sees red. His head coach, Joe Lode, said in the game against Lake Highlands, he drove baseline on a big, tried to dunk it on him, and he said he wanted to send a message. Well, the message didn't go as planned, but loves his energy and enthusiasm. You see our socials up top. You want to subscribe to us there on YouTube and follow us on social media for updates on our upcoming schedule, and we'll show you our next upcoming game. We'll head from the Bronx to Queens on Tuesday, as it is St. Francis Prep and Bishop Loughlin, a rivalry renewed there out in Fresh Meadows as Loughlin and Prep meet up again. That's right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Gavin Shaw will be on the call for that one. Spisto. Bradley. Important possession here for St. Peter's. You can't afford to dig too deep of a hole. And some aggressive defense there by Njai. He'll pick up his third foul. And the third team foul. So Njai will go to the bench, replaced by Talik Fields. Fields, one of two seniors on this team, along with Jaden Williams. Fields, a Lincoln College commit, D2. Good shooter, can attack the rim is Fields. There's Morello. Swings it to Spisto. Bounce pass to Morello. Good look, open three. Bradley! Third triple of the game for Stephen Bradley. And a big bucket for the Eagles. Skyers hands off to Fields. There's Trey Lewis, and a hand check will be called on Spisto. That'll be his second. Third team foul. Both teams have 3 team fouls. And there is Lewis. I think a challenge this year for Hayes, especially too when Magic Mel gets healthy. Three-pointer, no good. Over the back, not called. Attacking the rim is Lewis. And the putback is in. believe that was on Fields getting the basket. And a technical foul called against Woods. It certainly did look over the back. Foul was not given. And Woods, irate over not getting the call, was given the tech. That's where they thought the foul was. As Chapa Moore to the line. Got one of those two. And another technical foul. And it was Kadir Martin getting the tech. So back-to-back techs against St. Peter's. And Chapa Moore back to the line. So what a moment in this one, huh? First a tech against Woods, and then clearly Kadir Martin said something that the officials didn't like to hear. And the game has now become an 18-point lead for Cardinal Hayes. Off the handoff, nice rejection down low. And now St. Peter's looks to push it in transition. Bradley steps back out. They thought it was a tip, or St. Peter's at least thought it was a tip. We'll go the other way as Hayes comes away with the ball. It was a 9-point lead at half, and you can see Hayes doubling that lead to this point. Chapa Moore from three, rims around, no good. And Skyers will be called for the foul. Here comes Spisto. He will be a big part of what St. Peter's hopes is a really successful season this year. And another foul is called. This one on Trey Lewis. So Lewis picks up his third. Spisto. Hands off to Morello, gets it to Bradley. Final minute of this third quarter. Martin back in the game. Guarded by Williams, up top to Spisto. Spins, turns. The layup and the foul. Morello. Morello had a three in the first half, now looking for the old-fashioned variety. Morello, that prototypical heady point guard. He's quick, he's tough, and a big three-point play as Hayes has a 48-33 lead. Fields, lefty, rejected by Martin. Martin puts it behind the back, loses it, a little out of control for both teams right now. Frantic final 20 seconds. We go to the corner. Three-point shot, no good. Fields down low, can't get the finish. Neither can Skyers. Up top, three. By three, Nazir Simmons. Final shot of the third quarter is no good. So a big third quarter by Cardinal Hayes. They've opened up a 51-33 lead. You're watching the CHSAA AA Showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Cardinal Hayes. Dylan Butler here with you on the Grand Concourse, where the Cardinals with a 51-33 lead through three quarters, looking to put a stop to back-to-back losses on the season. A guy who's not here right now, who is still kind of sorely missed for Hayes. You don't have this replacement. There is no one-for-one for Tobe Awaka, last year's Gatorade Player of the Year. Awaka, truly irreplaceable, the 6'8 monster. Probably, you know, you could talk about his points and his rebounds, but the intangibles that Awaka brought as a leader, as a guy who just jumped on the court, chasing every loose ball, is still sorely missed. Martin, strong move inside. 16 now for Kadir Martin, and it's 51-35. But Awaka now at Tennessee. You notice as well, no one has that 0. As Jackson for three. And Jackson, remarkably, his first points of this game. But there's no 0 right now in this roster, and Joe Lodes told his guys the next time you see that number 0, it's going to be in the rafters or in a glass casing, as a guy who will be remembered as one of the best. The traveling violation against Ian Jackson. Of course, some terrific players who have played here for Hayes, and Jamal Mashburn right at the very top. Joe Toussaint led the Cardinals to that 2017 championship against Archbishop Malloy. And Tobe Awaka, he put his name into those kind of Mount Rushmore, if you will, of Hayesmen. As a little out of control right now for Cardinal Hayes, with a 19-point lead early goings of this fourth quarter. Spizto into the corner. Bradley puts it on the court, and miscommunication there. Looked like he was trying to find Spizto. Simmons up top. Another three, and Jackson, he'll go back-to-back to start this fourth quarter. And we mentioned earlier, has struggled from beyond the arc, but he's knocked down his first 2 of this fourth quarter. And Munson says, I see you, Ian Jackson, and I will raise you. A trifecta. 3 for Munson. But at this point of the game for St. Peter's, you can't go basket for basket. You need to get a stop. And this guy is starting to heat up. Fields into the lane. Good defense. Solano. And we'll go the other way. He'll be called for the foul. The charge. Some confusing here. You hear the 21 being called, and I think some of the officials thought, is it 1-1? It is not. It's alternate possession regardless, but St. Peter's, it was the 7th foul against Hayes, but regardless, an offensive foul doesn't result in free throws. On the court is Zabel, and surrounded and swarmed by Eagles. Hayes tried to call the timeout, but Richie Katz, the official, said it was a jump ball, and Hayes gets it anyway. That foul, by the way, earlier was Solano's second. Simmons, who was part of that JV championship team last year that beat Ryan Wood's Eagles of St. Peter's. And there's Jackson. Switches to his left, fires it down low, trying to get it to Zabel. Went off the fingertips of Spizto and out. Chi back in for St. Peter's. He replaces Monroe. Inbound underneath for Fields. Help defense came from Martin, who taps it out of bounds, so it will be Cardinal Hayes ball. And again, it will be Fields to inbound. Suppose that's where the best similarities come, as Jackson knocks down the jumper. All 8 of his points in this fourth quarter. I suppose when Fields inbounds, that's the best comparisons you can make to his brother, Tyquell, the former Stepinac and Stony Brook quarterback, 3-year starter for the Seawolves. So 8 fourth quarter points for Jackson, and he had 24 Friday night, 14 of those in the fourth, trying to will his team back, as there was a 3 in the corner by Munson, his second of the fourth quarter. 59-41, and a blocking foul was called on the court. The foul was called on Munson, who limps off a little bit. That was his 4th and the team's 6th. Inbound underneath for Skyers. Finds Lewis. Spins. Back out to Elijah Moore. Works off the screen. Moore, top of the key, lost it on the handoff. Martin in transition. Martin to the basket. He is so tough in transition, man. Kadir Martin. 18 now for the Curtis transfer. And St. Peter's not going away. Njai, a Euro step. And he is hit on the way up. So Njai shooting 1-1. Seventh team foul. That one rims in for Njai, and there you see him getting to the basket. Fouled by Martin, knocks down the free throws. 61-43 the lead for Cardinal Hayes. Dylan Butler here with you on the Grand Concourse in the Bronx Sunday afternoon. Catholic basketball matinee. Oh, Martin wanted to send it down. Skyers stopped him on the way up in transition. Njai! Pretty layup by Njai. He's in double-digit figures now with 10. And the lead is 20. In the corner, that's been his spot, man. Stephen Bradley, another triple. His 4th of this game. Njai sheds the defender. Pulls up, foul line. Oh, that is sweet. Bradley, front rim, no good. Martin, he is fouled on his way up. Foul was on Skyers, his 3rd, the team's 8th, and Kadir Martin will go to the line to shoot 2. Back rim first First-year head coach Ryan Wood said this is really a dream job for him, replacing a guy in Charlie Driscoll who was his head coach at St. Peter's. Woods then went on and he won back-to-back Staten Island High School Basketball League championships as Martin goes 1 of 2 from the line. Played at Pace and then NJIT. Foul called against Hayes. Maybe somewhat ironically, or in the small basketball world sense, one of the coaches, Steele, fields, and he'll send it down with authority. One of the coaches in the NJIT team was Michael Spistow. Not senior, as Bradley knocks down another triple, but this Spistow's dad, so small world there, certainly, as another triple by Stephen Bradley. 17-point lead. As there you see that sweet spot for Stephen Bradley. Another 3 for him. I want to say 4 of them were from that exact spot on the court. And there you see the huddle for St. Peter's, a team that Ryan Wood said is deep. They're athletic, tough. They preach defense heavily, and he thinks that they'll be able to defend pretty well this year. They've got a few guys who can get to the rim and attack it consistently, some size in the middle with Kadir, the athleticism and toughness. It's a well-balanced team as well. Kadir obviously showing in his first couple of games to look more like that face of the franchise guy as Bradley finishes at the rim. But you can see there by Stephen Bradley, right? He'll be a guy to keep an eye out for, and you've got to defend others as well. Fields for 3, no good. And St. Peter's trying to make a sneaky run here late. Bounce pass inside, Martin rejected. Good defense by Trey Lewis. Skip pass, Choppa Moore, no good. Spistow comes away with it. Spistow, Bradley. It looked good from here, just rims out. Back and down we go. Inside, playing volleyball was Ian Jackson, and he'll get the finish there. All 11 of his points in the fourth quarter. It's a full timeout called, as it is 69-52, the score for Cardinal Hayes. You look at the last game for Cardinal Hayes, you mentioned it before, a packed house here and a 6-point loss. Ian Jackson in the game, 24 points, 14 of those in the fourth quarter, 3 rebounds, 3 blocks. Choppa Moore, 16 points, but all of those in the first half. He went 4 of 8 from 3. Adam Njai, 12 points. Struggled a little bit from the field as well, 1 of 7 from 3. As a team, Hayes shot 24% from three-point range and 66%. Boogie Flans for the Crusaders, the Bronx native, 24 points, went 12 of 12 from the line, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Ben Little, a big game for the Crusaders as well, 17 and 6 for him. Danny Carbucia, 11 and 4. As a team, and maybe this is one of the bigger differences in this one, as a three-point shot, top of the key is good. As a team, as the triple knocked down by Maddox LaPierre. As a team, Stepanak shot 91% from the foul line, 21 of 23. And how about this introduction to the Bronx for Maddox LaPierre? He's another one of those guys who was up from the JV team a year ago, coached by Ryan Woods. Kind of that Swiss Army knife for the Eagles. A guy who could shoot it well from the outside. He's able to get to the rim. Good shot blocker, rebounder, facilitator as well. 69-55 the lead. St. Peter's off the timeout. They'll pick up full court. Looking to turn the ball over and get some points in a hurry. Choppa Moore. Skyers. Sees the rim. Scoop layup is good. 6 for Skyers. Final minute of this fourth quarter. Bradley. That one is long. In transition, Ian Jackson attacks the rim. Better than anyone in the country at doing just that, attacking the rim in transition. And this will just be a substitute timeout for Hayes. And this is where Jackson is at his very best, why so many of those colleges in the country are after him, hot on the recruiting trail. Jackson attacks the rim. So good. Final 36 seconds of this one. LaPierre hands off to Spizto. Martin! And the foul. When you see Kadir Martin, and you could see the pieces here for St. Peter's, and that's what Ryan Wood said. We've got a lot of very good pieces. The future is certainly bright, and you could see why they're going to be a team as that free throw rims out, a team to look out for this year. Zabel ahead. Trey Lewis. No good. Canoon Larry. Get him in the scorebook. Oh, Larry tried to hand off. Didn't see that Kadir Martin was right behind him. So Martin the finish. LaPierre. 2 more for Maddox. And that beats the buzzer as the final score is 75-61 for Cardinal Hayes. So Hayes does snap out of that back-to-back losses, and they'll head to Arizona on a win. We'll take a quick break and get you the player of the game when we return right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Thunder, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, SPORTSCAST,
Thunder, and what a look.
photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Cardinal Hayes. The Cardinals with a 75-61 win here over St. Peter's, and we're joined by the player of the game, Elijah Chapa Moore. And Elijah, congratulations on the win. 18 points for you, but more importantly, I'd imagine, look, you suffer that tough loss here Friday night. You know what's ahead of you with the trip to Arizona. How big was this for you guys to bounce back?
Definitely big time. Taking that loss and stepping that opening night kind of hurt us, but we talked as a team, got back, and he said this is going to be a good way to get back for us.
St. Peter's gave you problems in that first half. It was only a 9-point lead, but you guys were able to open it up in the second half. What worked so well for you guys then?
Credit to St. Peter's. They're a good team. They shoot the ball very well. Second half, we went in halftime, we talked together. We got to play defense, we got to rebound more together. We just played as a team. We were doing a lot of one-on-one offense, so we started playing together, and we got the job done.
Knocked down 5 more threes. An incredible. Listen, I know that's your craft, man. You're here 6:30 in the morning every day. Your dad's rebounding for 5:30. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Your dad's rebounding for you. You're such a terrific shooter. But you seem like you've taken that craft to another level here to start the year. I mean, those 8 threes to start the year, in the win against Pinkston, and every game. I mean, we had you shooting at I think 58% from beyond the arc coming into this game. Mm-hmm. What's been the elevation there for you in terms of that part of your game?
Just repetition. Like you said, 5:30 in the morning, working on my dad, making sure my technique is right, making sure that I get reps, and then just having the confidence to feel like I'm the best shooter in the country.
See, Coach Lowe's had 6:30. He probably gets in at 6:30.
Yeah.
You're already here for an hour.
Yeah.
So big win here for you guys, and now you head to Arizona. Number 2 ranked team, Duncansville. Another one of those big opportunities for you and Ian and really the rest of the guys on a national stage. How much are you looking forward to that?
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I know it's going to be a good competitive game. We usually got to lock in as a team and make sure we get the job done out there.
All right.
For
Elijah,
sure.
Congratulations. Best of luck in Arizona.
Thank you.
All right, so that's Elijah Moore. Choppa Moore, our player of the game. 18 points leading the way for Cardinal Hayes this afternoon in their 75-61 lead. Program reminder again, Tuesday, join us on the Varsity Media Sports Network for some more Catholic League basketball as we'll head to Queens for Bishop Lachlan against St. Francis Prep. That'll be Tuesday night, I believe, right? 7, or is it an afternoon game? That's why you have to find us on our social medias. Regardless, we'll have that game for you on Tuesday. It's Bishop Lachlan, St. Francis Prep, about a Brooklyn-Queens battle there as we switch across the bridge. That'll do it here from the Bronx, 75-61. Again, your final score for our entire Varsity Media crew. Executive producer Ben Turchin, Ron Pierre bringing you all the moving images, and our technical director, Chris Sweeney. I'm Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us here from Cardinal Hayes, and we look forward to seeing you next time on the Varsity Media Sports Network.